Hi, I'm Cash, and welcome to Cash Talks Football, where I use my over plus 20 years coaching experience to break down all the goals scored in the Premier League for all your teams. Don't forget to give me a subscribe, because at the end of the season, I've got an amalgamation of every single goal scored and conceded by your team in two separate videos for everyone in the Premier League, so you can see how your goal team has been scored on, or how they're scoring goals. So let's just have a little look at this and see what's going on here in the Brighton-Everton game. Now, Brighton are going to fall off the pace, which I've predicted that will happen, just because they don't have enough depth. And when they go away to places like Everton on a horrible day, they should win, because Everton are a terrible, terrible football team right now. And but Everton have just seemed to be grinding out a couple of results, and with that, playing at home is giving them some confidence. But let's have a little look. See how much space is in between these two players here. He's caught in no man's land because he's got no real backup. I don't mind that. He wants to get closer so he can try to do something about the cross, but he can't. If he does, he just gets beaten around this corner here because there's so much space there, because there isn't anyone filling in the gaps. So let's have a little look what's going on. Dosh, do you see how he's framing him up? He's sizing him up. Does he beat him, or does he try to whip in a ball? Nah, tries to whip in a ball, but he does get the block in. Does a good job. But do you see how deep they are? It doesn't matter that they get the block, because it still goes here. Not only does it go here, it goes to an Everton player, which is absolutely terrible. That means this massive gap here that wasn't marked, all these other players weren't paying enough attention to get to this rebounded cross here. In it comes, Dosh, and he just hits it at the keeper. Not a great strike, not a good thing, but they're just not giving up. They're not very good, but what they are going to do is just keep kicking it at the goal as hard as they possibly can. And sometimes, guys, that can get you goal in football. So he just keeps kicking it as hard as he can, kicks it as hard as he can again, and it bounces off somebody and goes in. Half of the Brighton team's asleep, though, on the cross, on the interception or rebound cross, what you want to call it, and just taking the ball off his foot. 2 shots in the box, unchallenged. Not good enough from Brighton. They can't make the top 4 if they're going to play like that. Just not going to be good enough. Let's get on to the next goal. Even though this goal's offside, I'm still going to talk about it. It's because it's the same thing I talk about probably 5 times a week. All the Premier League are playing with these high lines up here when you've got a free kick in this example here. And that will be in another goal video at the end of the season. You can see how many goals are scored by Muppets doing this. Okay, they're playing the ball in and they are offside. But look at the space they're giving them, right? I said this before and say this again. The reason why good teams do this is because their goalkeeper's good enough to cover that space and come out. If he's not good enough, you've really got to hope that the VAR and the linesmen get it right. And they do on this occasion, I think. I don't know, actually. They just said it's offside. You never know with VAR. He could have not even been on the field. You have no idea because they're just so bad. Knocks the ball back across. Oh, no, sorry. Smashes it straight into the goal. Boof. Dunk. Smashes it straight in. They call it offside. But ultimately, you're putting your team in a bad situation because you're giving them so much space to attack into. As I'll say it again, look at all this space. They're dunking up a ball, and you're really playing with devil's advocate with that, because any little slip or mistake, and they're going to they're just going to get a goal against you, like they have in so many other games in the Premier League. All right, let's get on to the goal. Here we are, a nice long switch ball to switch the spread them out, switch the play. But he's completely and utterly unmarked, which you kind of have to be, right? And the reason why you leave players completely unmarked on these side of the fields is because the time the ball gets to travel to him, you can sprint there and close him down. The problem is these two do not sprint. They just kind of amble and mumble. Look, watch. Mumble, 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 mumble. It's not fast enough. He needs to be there quicker on that first touch. Wasn't really ready for it. Now, this guy's not going to do much special, but neither was the first goal. It wasn't anything special. This is just a case of trying hard again. Off he goes, trying to create a yard of space, trying to figure out where he's going to go. Is he going to go into the space? What's he going to do? He's got no real support whatsoever. Cuts it inside, goes back the other way. Look at how easy they were to fall. Gets that yard he wants, goes into the space that he wants, which they've given him. I don't see why they don't close that space down, but they don't. Hits it, and it goes in. Little little deflection off the Everton player, and in it goes. Yeah, a little bit a bit unlucky really, but that's what happens when you're Everton, and you get a lucky goal by smashing it against the goal, and they get a lucky one back. But that's about it. I'll see you next time on Cash Talks Football.